my mom was here last week. It was so nice. And she couldn't stop talking great things about you and how she thinks this is a great cooperation and how we're going places. And she's so happy. So happy.
That's a woman with vision.
Yes. And she has told me something valuable. She said, Veronica, these two women, they don't have to give you anything. They are in so many different places in their lives. They're doing so many different things, but because you have energy and you you have the energy and you're giving the energy, they will help you and they will give you things. Appreciate it every day, Veronica. Appre-
So sweet.
Ah,
But
appreciate
you
it.
give we also get from you. We get your energy, your insights, your questions. I love your questions. When you make us come out of that place, we can. It's easy to live on in a way, and then you bring us poof, down. Uh, uh, and so we learn a lot from you too.
I love the mental challenge.
Yeah.
Because because we are so used to be the questions to be automatically. When someone is saying, "Okay, hang on a minute, I don't understand you," it gives you the opportunity to work your brain, you know. But it doesn't look like for me because I'm like,
No, you're not like that.
but but yeah, I like the mental challenge. I attend a women's circle since I made one years ago. She started doing hers, but she does it because she needed to bring sisterhood without no judging and things. As I miss these things.
What do you do on women's circles?
She was hosting, and you basically have no script, but you have a guide, a
Yeah.
structure guide,
The structure.
um, and you in this circle was about sharing your difficulties, and we go one by one, and then after that, it got very emotional, you know, to
Usually does.
yeah, a lot of women. It's basically tell but you don't judge and listening but don't judge. Basically, you don't have
Mm.
to give advice. You don't.
Listening like the moon and shine and talking like the sun.
Yes. And then the less you are, the more time for you to express. And I think it will be so good for you to have these things in Denmark.
I really would like to. And when you're talking about it, I'm thinking, oh,
Mm.
No, but you can host, you know,
Yeah.
women circles. I think you need this. You need this. The,
mm,
This
the,
is
the
this is
Danish
what
people.
this is what I'm doing in the mentoring in the when I'm doing the mentors with a topic. Then you choose a topic and then you let the people talk, express themselves, what it is about, and what do they feel when they think about that. So you have a guidance. That's
Yes.
in that course. That's how Janice and I met.
so how many people
Yes.
is
Yes.
good?
You can have I have had it with two people and I have had it to 25 or 30. So it doesn't matter. It's the same.
Because the
Dep-
moment I say about this,
Depends on how many they come.
also I'm teacher, so I have the overview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be any
And then
problem.
after that, you can do like a kind of or exercises. No, not yoga exercises, kind of like a
Meditation.
meditation or something else. She did the somatic thing to relieve the stress in your body.
Yeah.
The lady that I then and I'm like, okay, that was good.
Embodiment is also nice to see. You do it with the yoga. Go in your body and see where that your topic is and
Yes,
then
yes, that
release
was.
it. Something like that.
Yeah.
So you structure it and I usually do it giving a half an hour for them to ask questions, to share at the end because you at the end you can in a way um, harvest whatever they are, what's their topic, what this, and then they give examples of their life and then you write down, okay, and that will guide you what can I use to the next topic. And even if you use one topic, it will come again and again and again, because I remember doing one, letting it go. And the first one was about death and people that have lost their family, and it was really crying, 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 crying.
Wow.
Uh, and uh,
Yeah.
and and then the next one I left, it was about letting go, and then it was about divorces and bad relationships. And it was the same topic, the same structure, but the people were talking about different things.
Yeah.
And one circle like that can save the life of a person. I
Yeah.
remember especially one. I don't know if you were in that one, Janice. That it was a lady talking about she had lost her grandchild, and she cried and she expressed herself and everything, and she even had older grandchildren, but she was like so focused in that one she had lost, and this is the first time she could express herself about it and listen to. And then later on, she has sent me pictures with her and her other grandchildren, and she still thanks me how 2 3 years 4 years after, about that circle changed her life.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, they are very
It's very
powerful.
potent. Mhm.
Yeah, it's very powerful. This is why I said, oh, because I said I should be doing, or I like attending, but I like to hold the space.
Yeah, I love it. I started doing that, the circles online. So sometimes I tape them and I can make a master class out of it or do something. So I did it for about 2 hours.
Very exciting.
It's
I
very,
think,
very, very interesting.
does it happen in the weekends or can it happen during the week?
During the week, it's okay. You can whenever you want, whenever if it suits you. And then you have what I do, that I had this WhatsApp group, and then if they needed extra, they could text me. They could, or they could, because sometimes you open a door that was closed, so they need the support.
I had
So
uh, I had such a good time with my mom coming here. I felt like we've talked through so many things and also about childhood, and she told me how it is to be a mother, and I realized it's been a long time since we had time one on one, and it was just I felt like a lot of doors have somehow closed in a way that I let go of some things in the past.
Okay.
And I feel like it's also a good topic, how do you like make peace with the things that you hold account, like your parents accounted for. Like I wasn't doing it like thinking about it, but when I was meditating and then these topics keep coming up with my mom, and she didn't give me enough time, and then she had a second baby. Can you imagine? How dare she, and things like that. And then she had a job and she had weekends job and she didn't have any time for me, and I was feeling like you know. And then we talked about it, and then she said, "No, Veronica, we had time together, but you choose to focus on the things that you choose to focus on the weekends. But do you remember that I was done with work at 12 o'clock and we were spending every day together?" And I thought, yeah, I guess we were, but the evenings you had to go again. And she said, yeah, I had to go for 1 hour, but we had 5 hours before that. That's more important to remember.
Wow.
And I don't think I did. I was like, oh, she went in the evening. Um, yeah, so I think conversations with parents are so important.
very important.
Yes. Yes, because I was talking about this, and I remember my childhood. Um, but I want to, because I was mentioning this to Valentino, and I said I remember my childhood by myself all the time, but maybe it wasn't. Of course, I was with Gina. My mom came to London when I was 10, and then my dad wasn't there, so we got independence when we were very young, 12. But I remember my childhood very like just us. But maybe it wasn't like that. because who knows? For Gina, it was different. Obviously, we were always together, but I would love to hear this from my mom because, maybe it was not as bad as I thought, or but it is very interesting. When you have this perception of your childhood, and for you, it's very remarkable because it's a very important part of your life. People remember that childhood completely differently. So it's so good to have a conversation like in their own perspective. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like think how many traumas, and I don't want to say that people do that, but so many traumas that we create in our head that are created, sometimes they weren't so big. There wasn't like a huge event that caused it. And that just makes me think like, oh, so I had this, I don't know, feeling abandoned, but it was just my feeling. Nobody abandoned me. And it's just so crazy to me how many things do I believe in my head, and I can work on them spiritually, ask for help and solve them and spend months solving them. If I could have one conversation with someone telling me, that's bullshit. You made this up. That's how at least I feel. I feel like I made it up.
No,
Well,
I
for
don't
you,
think I don't think it's a made up, right? No, I think it's just your own perspective, your
yeah,
own.
yeah. For you was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was real. That was the feeling of abandonment, and this is some of the things, and they go back to what we come here to experience. And maybe you needed to understand that feeling in order to help others. To when you heal it, when you say, "Oh, but it was not that bad," and then it's much easier for you to help others to understand that too, or to help your children eventually whenever you're going to one day have them. So it's why do we have these experiences? It's like for me, I felt also my mom never had the time for me to see me, and she had two other boys that were everywhere. And then my sister came, and she was like crying all the time, like and my mom was desperate trying to make her be quiet. So I was like in the middle, but I was one of the middle children, right? So I grew up to be a little mother, to help my mother, to help with my sister, to help with the kitchen, to help with the house. And for many years, I thought I had a beautiful childhood in a way too, that was free. I could go out. We have a huge garden. Friends were just close by. But then when I started working with myself, then I things started coming up, and then I realized that, oh, my childhood was not that good anyways. I was mobbed from other school from early age, but when I get where I am here, then I said, oh, but I learned so much. It was actually good experiences, and many things like I thought they were really awful end up not to be. They were all the things that were difficult. So it's like Jenny said, from our perspective where we are now. You can look back and see.
Yeah, but it really helped me to hear my mom saying, and I'm very lucky with my mom. She's always been, not always, but she's been working on herself a lot. And she's also, very wise. And she would look at me and she told me, Veronica, I did the best I could in that time. And I gave you everything and I gave you the best that I could. And then now, after years, she can say this to herself. She says, I am not, I was a good mother, you know? And she telling me that, she wasn't telling me, she's telling herself, but it's such a powerful thing that, of course, we can have anger and resentment and being upset about some decisions of our parents, but at the end, most of them, they do the best they can with their circumstances. So
Definitely. And they do the best they can the way they know how. Because if they had could another way, they would do it another way. So that's why blaming our parents, I think it's human that we say, okay, somebody else has the fault, but in reality, is how we look at it, our perspective, and what did I experienced that. Where you can have the same children, also you have children, and then they experience the same way of being treated, but some of them would for them would be traumatic, for others won't. So it's very much about the person. On the For me, I understood now that it has to do with the process you are in, the way you're going to walk.
yeah, like I have a sister and she had the same parents, but 6 years after. And then she got a very much different experience in life.
Mm.
And only recently I realized that when I left home, I went to study. And that was a natural way. I was going away, moving to a different city. I was 18, she was 12. When she was 12, I moved away. So we were doing everything together for 12 years, as she remembered. And suddenly, boom, I left and she was a single child.
Mm.
And until now, I think she's going through that, trying to fix it. And it wasn't my fault because that was just part of life. But in a way, I caused my sister great discomfort. Did I want to do it? No, but I was going after my life. Yeah.
It's very interesting when we see back to what we have done or what we have experienced, and what do we gain from that. For me, it's experience. The soul uh, gains experiences. How do we solve a problem that shows up, or a situation?